Hamlet, based on the first Quarto by William Shakespeare, adapted for audio and directed by Daniel G. Husson.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and dropping eye, with mirth in funeral, and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale, weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair all along, for all our thanks. And God save Elsinore!
Stand. Who is that?
'Tis I.
Oh, you come most carefully upon your watch.
And if you meet Marcellus and Horatio, the partners of my watch, bid them make haste.
I will. See, who goes there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane. Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Barnardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Holla, Barnardo.
Say, is Horatio here?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Hath this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio said 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen by us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tut. 'Twill not appear.
Sit down, I pray, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified, what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Barnardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yonder star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illumine that part of heaven, where it now burns, the bell then tolling.
Break off your talk. See where it comes again.
In this same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king?
Most like. It horrors me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that thus usurps the state in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes walk? By heaven, I charge thee speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay! Speak! Speak, by heaven! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone, and makes no answer.
How now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
For my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of my own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. Such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. So frowned he once, when in angry parley he smote the sledded Pollux on the ice. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour with martial stalk he passed through our watch.
In what particular to work I know not, but in the thought and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to the state. Behold, see where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If there be any good thing to be done, that may do ease to thee, and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which haply foreknowing may prevent, oh, speak to me. Or if thou hast extorted in thy life, or hoarded treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak to me. Stay and speak. Speak! Stop it, Marcellus.
"'Tis gone. Oh, we do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence. For it is as the air invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery."
And then it faded like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock that is the trumpet to the morning, doth with his early and shrill crowing throat awake the god of day, and at his sound, whether in earth or air, in sea or fire, the stravagant and erring spirit hies to his confines. And of the truth hereof, this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever 'gainst that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say no spirit dare walk abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planet strikes, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm, so gracious and so hallowed is that time.
So I have heard, and do in part believe it. But see the sun, in russet mantle clad, walks o'er the dew of yon high mountain top. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Do you consent? We shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our love fitting our duty.
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently.
Lords, we here have writ to Fortinbras, nephew to old Norway, who impudent and bedrid scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose. And we here dispatch young good Cornelia and you, Voltemar, forebearers of these greetings to old Norway, giving you no further personal power to business with the king than those related articles do show. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In this and all things, we will show our duty.
We doubt nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You said you had a suit. What is Laertes?
My gracious lord, your favorable license, now that the funeral rites are all performed, I may have leave to go again to France. For though the favor of your grace might stay me, yet something is there whispers in my heart, which makes my mind and spirits bend all for France.
Have you your father's leave, Laertes?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me a forced grant, and I beseech you grant your highness's leave.
With all our heart. Laertes, fare thee well.
I, in all love and duty, take my leave.
And now, princely son Hamlet, what means these sad and melancholy moods? For your intent going to Wittenberg, we hold it most unmeet and unconvenient, being the joy and half-heart of your mother. Therefore let me entreat you stay in court, all Denmark's hope, our cousin and dearest son.
My lord, 'tis not the sable suit I wear, nor the tears that still stand in my eyes, nor the distracted havior in the visage, nor altogether mixed with outward semblance, is equal to the sorrow of my heart. Him have I lost, I must of force forego, these but the ornaments and suits of woe.
This shows a loving care in you, son Hamlet, but you must think your father lost a father, that father dead lost his, and so shall be until the general ending. Therefore cease laments. It is a fault against heaven, fault against the dead, a fault against nature, and in reason's common course, most certain. None lives on earth, but he is born to die.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. Stay here with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Spoke like a kind and most loving son. And there's no health the king shall drink today, but the great cannon to the cloud shall tell the rouse the king shall drink until Prince Hamlet.
Oh, that this too much grieved and sallied flesh would melt to nothing, or that the universal globe of heaven would turn all to chaos. O God, within 2 months, no, not 2, married mine uncle. Oh, let me not think of it. My father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within 2 months, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left their flushing in her galled eyes, she married. O God, a beast devoid of reason would not have made such speed. Frailty, thy name is woman. Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it looked on. O wicked, wicked speed, to make such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Health to your lordship.
I am very glad to see you, Horatio, or I must forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Oh, my good friend, I changed that name with you. But what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio, Marcellus?
My good lord?
I'm very glad to see you, good Eden, sirs. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
A truant disposition, my good lord.
Nor shall you make me truster of your own report against yourself. Sir, I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore?
My good lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
Oh, I prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven ere ever I had seen that day, Horatio. Oh, my father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
Why, in my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a gallant king.
He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
Ha ha, the king, my father, say you.
Cease in your admiration for a while with an attentive ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this wonder to you.
For God's love, let me hear it.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Barnardo, on their watch, in the dead vast and middle of the night, been thus encountered by a figure like your father, armed to point, exactly cap a pay, appears before them thrice. He walks before their weak and fear-oppressed eyes within his truncheon's length, while they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb, and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did. And I, with them on the 3rd night, kept the watch, whereas they had delivered form of the thing, each part made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it right done in our duty to let you know it.
Where was this?
My lord, upon the ramparts where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, we did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it was about to speak, and lifted up his head to motion, like as he would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and in all haste it shrunk in haste away, and vanished our sight.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say ye?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My good lord, from head to foot.
Why then saw you not his face?
Oh yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up.
How looked he, frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would I had been there.
It would much amazed you.
Yea, very like, very like. Stayed it long?
While one with a moderate pace might tell 100.
Oh, longer, longer.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was as I have seen it in his life, a sable silver.
I will watch tonight, perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, if hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. Gentlemen, if you have hither concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall chance tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves, so fare thee well. Upon the ramparts 'twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duties to your honor.
Till then, my dear lord.
Oh, your loves, is mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms, well, all's not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the world o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked, I must aboard, but ere I part, mark what I say to thee. I see Prince Hamlet makes a show of love. Beware, Ofelia, do not trust his vows. Perhaps he loves you now, and now his tongue speaks from his heart, but yet take heed, my sister. The chariest maid is prodigal enough. She unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scapes not calumnious thoughts. Believed, Ofelia, therefore keep aloof, lest that he trip thy honor and thy fame.
Brother, to this I have lent attentive ear, and doubt not but to keep my honor firm. But, dear brother, do not you, like to a cunning sophister, teach me the path and ready way to heaven, while you, forgetting what is said to me, yourself, like to a careless libertine, doth give his heart, his appetite at full, and little recks how that his honor dies.
No, fear it not, my dear Ofelia. Here comes my father. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes? Aboard, aboard, for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you're stayed for? There my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoptions tried, grapple them to thee with a hoop of steel, but do not dull the palm with entertain of every new unfledged courage. Beware of entrance into a quarrel, but being in, abear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Costly thy apparel as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fashion. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they of France of the chief rank and station are of a most select and general chief in that. This, above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night day, thou canst not then be false to anyone. Farewell, my blessings with thee.
I humbly take my leave. Farewell, Ofelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
It is already locked within my heart, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
What is it, Ofelia, he hath said to you?
Something touching the Prince Hamlet.
Very well thought on. 'Tis given me to understand that you have been too prodigal of your maiden present unto Prince Hamlet. If it be so, as so 'tis given to me, and that in way of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so well as befits my honor and your credit.
My lord, he hath made many tenders of his love to me.
Tenders. Tenders you may call them.
And withal such earnest vows.
Springs to catch woodcocks. What, do not I know when the blood doth burn? How prodigal the tongue lends, the heart vows. In brief, be more scanter of your maiden presence, or tendering thus you'll tender me a fool.
I shall obey, my lord, in all I may.
Ofelia, receive none of his letters, for lovers' lines are snares to entrap the heart. Refuse his tokens, both of them are keys to unlock chastity unto desire. Come in, Ofelia. Such men often prove great in their words, but little in their love.
I will, my lord.
The air bites shrewd. It is an eager and a nipping wind. What hour is't?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, 'tis struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. What doth this mean, my lord?
Oh, the king doth wake tonight, and takes his rouse, keeps wassail, and the swaggering upspring reels, and as he dreams, his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle, drum, and trumpet thus bray out, the triumphs of his pledge.
Is it a custom here?
Aye, marry is't, and though I am native here, and to the manor born, it is a custom more honoured in the breach than in the observance.
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned, bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such questionable shape, I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but say why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their ceremonies. Why thy sepulchre, in which we saw thee quietly interred, hath burst his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? That thou dead corpse again in complete steel revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly to shake our dispositions with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, speak, wherefore? What may this mean?
It beckons you, as though it had something to impart to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means, my lord.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, that beckons o'er his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible shape, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and drive you into madness? Think of it.
Still, I am called. Go on, I'll follow thee.
My lord, you shall not go.
Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that? Being a thing immortal, like itself. Go on, I'll follow thee.
My lord, be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still, I am called. Unhand me, gentlemen. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. Away, I say. Go on, I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Have after. To what issue will this sort?
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
I'll go no further. Whither wilt thou lead me?
Mark me.
I will.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a time to walk the night, and all the day confined in flaming fire, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are purged and burnt away.
Alas, poor ghost.
Nay, pity me not, but to my unfolding lend thy listening ear. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I would a tale unfold, whose slightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this same blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood, Hamlet, if ever thou didst thy dear father love.
Oh God.
Revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder.
Yea, murder in the highest degree, as in the least 'tis bad, but mind most foul, beastly, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that with wings as swift as meditation or the thought of it may sweep to my revenge.
Oh, I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed which roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf. Brief let me be. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is with a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, he that sting thy father's heart now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle, my uncle.
Yea, he, that incestuous wretch, won to his will with gifts, O wicked will and gifts, that have the power so to seduce my most seeming virtuous queen. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness courted in a shape of heaven, so lust, thought to a radiant angel linked, would sate itself from a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning's air, brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always in my afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle came, with juice of Hebona in a vial, and through the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it posteth through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and turns the thin and wholesome blood like eager droppings into milk. And all my smooth body barked and tethered over. Thus was I sleeping, by a brother's hand, of crown, of queen, of life, of dignity at once deprived, no reckoning made of, but sent unto my grave with all my accomps and sins upon my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible.
Oh God.
If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. But howsoever, let not thy heart conspire against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to the burden that her conscience bears. I must be gone. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Hamlet, adieu, 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 remember me.
All your host of heaven, O earth, what else? And shall I couple hell remember thee? Yes, poor ghost, from the tables of my memory I'll wipe away all saws of books, all trivial fond conceits that ever youth or else observant noted. And thy remembrance all alone shall sit. Yes, yes, by heaven, a damned pernicious villain, murderous, bawdy, smiling, damned villain. My tables meet it as I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to the words. It is adieu, adieu, remember me. So 'tis enough I have sworn.
My lord! My lord!
Lord Hamlet.
Heavens secure him!
How is't, my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, not I. You'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
Aye, my lord, my answer's the same.
There's never a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There need no ghost come from the grave to tell you this.
Right, you're in the right. and therefore I hold it meet without more circumstance at all. We shake hands and part. You as your business and desires shall lead you, for look you, every man hath business and desires, such as it is, and for my own poor part, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I am sorry they offend you, heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too, touching this vision. It is an honest ghost, that let me tell you, for your desires to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, kind friends, as you are friends, scholars, and gentlemen, grant me one poor request.
What is't, my lord?
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Nay, upon this sword, indeed, upon my sword.
Swear.
Ha, ha! Come you here, this fellow in the cellarage. Here, consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak what you have seen tonight. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Hic eubik? Nay then, we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon this sword. Never to speak of that which you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Well said, old mole. Canst work in the earth? So fast, a worthy pioneer. Once more, remove.
Day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come here, as before you never shall, how strange or odd soever I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antidisposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, shall never with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing some undoubtful phrase as, well, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or there be, and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This not to do, so grace and mercy as your most need help you, swear.
Swear.
Rest, rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, in all my love I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet may, to pleasure you, God willing, shall not want. Nay, come, let's go together. But still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. O cursed spite, that ever was born to set it right. Nay, let's come together.
Montano, here, these letters to my son, and this same money with my blessing to him, and bid him ply his learning good, Montano.
I will, my lord.
You shall do very well, Montano, to say thus. I knew the gentleman, or know his father, to inquire the manner of his life, as thus being amongst his acquaintance. You may say, you saw him at such a time, mark you me, at a game, or drinking, swearing, or drabbing. You may go so far.
My lord, that will impeach his reputation.
Well, in faith, not a whit, no, not a whit. Now happily he closeth with you in the consequence, as you may bridle it, not disparage him a jot. What was I about to say?
He closeth with him in the consequence.
You say right. He closeth with him thus. This will he say. Let me see what he will say. Marry this. I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then at such a time a dicing, or at tennis, aye, or drinking drunk, or entering of a house of lightness, viz. brothel. Thus, sir, do we that know the world, being men of reach, by indirections find directions forth, and so shall you, my son. You have me? Have you not?
I have, my lord.
I have, my lord.
I will, my lord.
And bid him ply his music.
My lord, I will.
Very well. How now, Ofelia? What's the news with you?
Oh, my dear father, such a change in nature, so great an alteration in a prince, so pitiful to him, fearful to me, a maiden's eye ne'er looked on.
Why, what's the matter, my Ofelia?
Oh, young Prince Hamlet, the only flower of Denmark, he is bereft of all the wealth he had. The jewel that adorned his feature most is filched and stolen away. His wits bereft him. He found me walking in the gallery all alone. There he comes to me with a distracted look, his garters lagging down, his shoes untied, and fixed his eyes so steadfast on my face, as if they had vowed this is their latest object. Small while he stood, but grips me by the wrist, and there he holds my pulse till with a sigh he doth unclasp his hold, and parts away, silent, as is the mid-time of the night. And as he went, his eye was still on me. For thus his head over his shoulder looked, he seemed to find the way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their help, and so did leave me.
Mad for thy love. What have you given him, any cross words of late?
I did repel his letters, deny his gifts, as you did charge me.
Why, that hath made him mad. By heaven, 'tis as proper for our age to cast beyond ourselves as 'tis for the younger sort to leave their wantonness. Well, I am sorry that I was so rash, but what remedy? Well, it's to the king this madness may prove, though wild a while, yet more true to thy love.
Right, noble friends, that our dear cousin Hamlet hath lost the very heart of all his sense, it is most right, and we most sorry for him. Therefore we do desire, even as you tender our care to him and our great love to you, that you will labor to wring from him the cause and ground of his distemperancy. Do this, the King of Denmark shall be thankful.
My lord, whatsoever lies within our power, your majesty may more command in words than use persuasions to your liege, men bound by love, by duty, and obedience.
Thanks, Gilderstone and gentle Rossencraft.
Thanks, Rossencraft and gentle Gilderstone.
My lord, the ambassadors are joyfully returned from Norway.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure your grace I hold my duty as I hold my life, both to my God and to my sovereign king. And I believe, or else this brain of mine hunts not the train of policy so well as it had wont to do, but I have found the very depth of Hamlet's lunacy.
God grant he hath.
Now, Voltemar, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair returns of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent forth to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Pollock. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers, so levied as before against the Pollock, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it would please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for that enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowances as therein are set down.
It likes us well, and at fit time and leisure we'll read and answer these his articles. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest, at night we'll feast together. Right welcome home.
This business is very well dispatched. Now, my lord, touching the young Prince Hamlet, certain it is that he is mad. Mad, let us grant him then. Now, to know the cause of this effect, or else to say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause.
Good my lord, be brief.
Madam, I will. My lord, I have a daughter. I have while she is mine, for that we think is surest we often lose. And now to the prince. My lord, but note this letter, the which my daughter in obedience delivered to my hands.
Read it, my lord.
Mark, my lord. Doubt that in earth is fire, Doubt that the stars do move, doubt truth to be a liar, but do not doubt I love to the beautiful Ofelia, thine ever the most unhappy Prince Hamlet. My lord, what do you think of me? Or what might you think when I saw this?
As of a true friend and a most loving subject.
I would be glad to prove so. Now, when I saw this letter, thus I bespake my maiden, Lord Hamlet is a prince out of your star, and one that is unequal for your love. Therefore I did command her to refuse his letters, deny his tokens, and to absent herself. She, as my child, obediently obeyed me. Now since which time, seeing his love thus crossed, which I took to be idle and but sport, he straightway grew into a melancholy. From that unto a fast, then unto a distraction, then into a sadness, from that unto a madness, and so by continuous and by weakness of the brain into this frenzy which now possesseth him. And if this be not true, take this from this.
Think you 'tis so?
How? So, my lord, I would very fain know that thing that I have said 'tis so positively, and it hath fallen out otherwise. Nay, if circumstances lead me on, I'll find it out, if it were hid as deep as the center of the earth.
How should we try this same?
Marry, my good lord, thus. The prince's walk is here in the gallery. There let Ofelia walk until he comes. Yourself and I will stand close in the study. There shall you hear the effect of all his heart, and if it prove otherwise than love, then let my censor fail another time.
See where he comes pouring upon a book.
Madam, will it please your grace to leave us here?
With all my heart.
And here, Ofelia, read you on this book, and walk aloof. The king shall be unseen.
To be or not to be? Aye, there's the point. To die, to sleep, is that all? Aye, all. No, to sleep, to dream. Aye, marry, there it goes. For in that dream of death, when we awake, and borne before an everlasting judge, from whence no passenger ever returned, the undiscovered country, at whose sight the happy smile and the accursed damned. But for this, the joyful hope of this, who'd bear the scorns and flattery of the world, scorned by the right rich, the rich cursed of the poor, the widow being oppressed, the orphan wronged, the taste of hunger or a tyrant's reign, and 1,000 more calamities besides, to grunt and sweat under this weary life, when that he may his full quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would this endure but for the hope of something after death? Which puzzles the brain and doth confound the sense, which makes us rather bear those evils we have than fly to others that we know not of. Aye, that. Oh, this conscience makes cowards of us all. Lady, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
My lord, I have sought opportunity, which now I have, to redeliver to your worthy hands a small remembrance, such tokens which I have received of you.
Are you fair?
My lord?
Are you honest?
What means my lord?
That if you be fair and honest, your beauty should admit no discourse to your honesty.
My lord, can beauty have better privilege than with honesty?
Yea, marry may it, for beauty may transform honesty from what she was into a bawd. Then honesty can transform beauty. This was sometimes a paradox, but now the time gives it scope. I never gave you nothing.
My lord, you know right well you did, and with them such earnest vows of love as would have moved the stoniest breast alive. But now, too true I find. Rich gifts wax poor when givers grow unkind.
I never loved you.
You made me believe you did.
Oh, thou shouldst not have believed me. Go to a nunnery, go. Why shouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but I could accuse myself of such crimes it had been better my mother had ne'er borne me. Oh, I am very proud, ambitious, disdainful, with more sins at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth? To a nunnery go! We all errant knaves, all, believe none of us, to a nunnery go!
Oh, heaven, secure him.
Where's thy father?
At home, my lord.
For God's sake, let the doors be shut on him. He may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. To a nunnery go!
Help him, good God.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague to thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not scape calumny. To a nunnery go.
Alas, what change is this?
But if you wilt need marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go.
Pray God restore him.
Nay, I have heard of your paintings too. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You fig, and you amble, and you nickname God's creatures, making your wantonness ignorance. A pox, 'tis scurvy, I'll no more of it. It had made me mad. I'll no more marriages. All that are married but one shall live, the rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery go, to a nunnery go.
Great God of heaven, what a quick change is this! The courtier, scholar, soldier, all in him, all dashed and splintered thence. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love? No, that's not the cause. Some deeper thing it is that troubles him.
Well, something it is, my lord. Content you a while. I will myself go feel him. Let me work. I'll try him every way, see where he comes. Send you those gentlemen. Let me alone to find the depth of this. Away, be gone. Now, my good lord, do you know me?
Yea, very well, you're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then, sir, I wish you were so honest a man, for to be honest, as this age goes, is one man to be picked out of 10,000.
What do you read, my lord?
Words.
What's the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter you read, my lord.
Marry, most vile heresy, for here the satirical satire writes that old men have hollow eyes, weak backs, grey beards, pitiful weak hams, gouty legs, all which, sir, I most potently believe not. For, sir, yourself shall be as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backward.
How pregnant his replies are, and full of wit. Yet at first he took me for a fishmonger, and all this comes by love, the vehemency of love. When I was young, I was very idle and suffered much ecstasy in love. Very near this. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
By the mass, that's out of the air indeed. Very shrewd answers. My lord, I will take my leave of you. You seek Prince Hamlet? See, there he is.
Health to your lordship.
What? Gilderstone and Rossencraft? Welcome, kind schoolfellows, to Elsinore.
We thank your grace, and would be very glad you were, as when we were at Wittenberg.
I thank you, but is this visitation free of yourselves, or were you not sent for? Tell me true, come. I know the good king and queen sent for you. There is a kind of confession in your eye. Come, I know you were sent for.
What say you?
Nay, then. I see how the wind sits. Come, you were sent for.
My lord, we were, and willingly, if we might know the cause and ground of your discontent.
Why I want preferment.
I think not so, my lord.
Yes, faith. This great world you see contents me not. No, nor the spangled heavens, nor earth, nor sea. No, nor man that is so gracious a creature contents not me. No, nor woman too, though you laugh.
My lord, we laugh not at that.
Why did you laugh then, when I said man did not content me?
My lord, we laughed when you said man did not content you. What entertainment the players shall have. We boarded them of the way. They are coming to you.
Players? What players be they?
My lord, the tragedians of the city, those that you took delight to see so often.
How comes it that they travel? Do they grow rusty?
No, my lord. Their reputation holds as was wont.
How then?
I' faith, my lord, novelty carries it away. For the principal public audience that came to them are turned to private plays and to the humor of children.
I do not greatly wonder of it. For those that would make mops and mows at my uncle when my father lived now give 100, 200 pounds for his picture. But they shall be welcome. He that plays the king shall have tribute of me. The venturous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall sigh gratis. The clown shall make them laugh that are tickled into the lungs. Or the blank verse shall halt for it. And the lady shall have leave to speak her mind freely. Do you see yonder great baby? He is not yet out of his swaddling clothes.
That may be, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I'll prophesy to you, he comes to tell me of the players. You say true, a Monday last, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rosseus was an actor in Rome...
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz, buzz.
The best actors in Christendom, either for comedy, tragedy, history, pastoral, historical, comical, historical, pastoral, tragedy, historical. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plato too light, for the law hath writ those are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou!
Why, what a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still harping on my daughter. Well, my lord, if you call me Jephthah, I have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
Why, by lot, or God wot, or as it came to pass, and so it was, the first verse of the godly ballet will tell you all. For look you where my abridgment comes.
My lord.
Welcome, masters, welcome all. What, my old friend, thy face is valiant since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? My young lady and mistress, by our lady, but your ladyship is grown by the altitude of a chopine higher than you were. Pray God, sir, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked in the ring. Come on, masters, we'll even to it, like French falconers, fly at anything we see. Come, a taste of your quality, a speech, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it were, never above twice. For as I remember, it passed not the vulgar. It was caviary to the million, but to me and others that received it in the like kind, cried in the top of their judgments an excellent play, set down with as great modesty as cunning. One said there were no salads in the lines to make them savory, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet. Come, a speech in it I chiefly remember was Aeneas' tale to Dido, and then especially where he talks of princess slaughter. If it live in thy memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the... no, 'tis not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. Oh, I have it. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the knight resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now his black and grim complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal head to foot. Now is he total guise, horridly trickled with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and parched in coagulate gore, rifted in earth and gore old grandsire Priam seeks. So, go on.
Afore God, my lord, well spoke and with good accent.
Anon, he finds him striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, unable to resist. Pyrrhus at Priam drives, but all in rage, strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword. The unnerved father falls.
Enough, my friend, 'tis too long.
Shall be to the barber's with your beard. A pox, he's for a jig, or a tale of bawdry, or else he sleeps. Come on to Hecuba, come.
But who had seen the mobled queen?
Mobled queen is good, in faith, very good.
All in the alarm and fear of death rose up, and o'er her weak and all o'er teeming loins, a blanket and a kerchief on that head, where late the diadem stood. Who this had seen with tongue and venomed speech, would treason have pronounced, for if the gods themselves had seen her then, when she saw Pyrrhus with malicious strokes, mincing her husband's limbs. It would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look, my lord, if he hath not changed his color, and hath tears in his eyes, no more good heart, no more.
'Tis well, 'tis very well. I pray, my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? I will tell you, they are the chronicles and brief abstract of the time. After your death, I can tell you, you had better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
Oh, far better, man. Use every man after his deserts, then who should escape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the greater credit's yours.
Welcome, my good fellows.
Come hither, masters. Can you not play the murder of Gonzago?
Yes, my lord.
And couldst not thou, for a need, study me some 12 or 16 lines which I would set down and insert?
Yes, very easily, my good lord.
'Tis well, I thank you. Follow that, lord, and do you hear, sirs? Take heed to mock him not. Gentlemen, for your kindness, I thank you, and for a time I would desire you leave me.
Our love and duty is at your command.
Why, what a dunghill idiot slave am I? Why, these players here draw water from eyes for Hecuba. Why, what is Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba? What would he do, and if he had my loss, his father murdered, and a crown bereft him? He would turn all his tears to drops of blood, amaze the standers-by with his laments, strike more than wonder in the judicial ears, confound the ignorant, and make mute the wise. Indeed, his passion would be general. Yet I like to an ass and John a dreams, having my father murdered by a villain, stand still and let it pass. Why, sure I am a coward. Who plucks me by the beard, or twits my nose, gives me the lie of the throat down to the lungs. Sure I should take it, or else I have no gall. Or by this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal, this damned villain, treacherous, bawdy, murderous villain. Why, this is brave, that I, the son of my dear father, should like a scallion, like a very drab, thus rail in words. About my brain I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play hath, by the very cunning of the scene, confessed a murder committed long before. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such men, doth seek to damn me. I will have sounder proofs. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Lords, can you by no means find the cause of our son Hamlet's lunacy? You being so near in love, even from his youth, methinks should gain more than a stranger should.
My lord, we have done all the best we could to wring from him the cause of all his grief. But still he puts us off, and by no means would make an answer to that we exposed.
Yet he was something more inclined to mirth before we left him, and I take it he hath given order for a play tonight, at which he craves your highness's company.
With all our heart it likes us very well. Gentlemen, seek still to increase his mirth. Spare no cost. Our coffers shall be open, and we unto yourselves will still be thankful.
In all we can, be sure you shall command.
Thanks, gentlemen, and what the Queen of Denmark may pleasure you, be sure you shall not want.
We'll once again unto the noble prince.
Thanks to you both. Gertred, you'll see this play.
My lord, I will, and it joys me at the soul he is inclined to any kind of mirth.
Madam, I pray be ruled by me, and my good sovereign, give me leave to speak. We cannot yet find out the very ground of his distemperance, therefore I hold it meet, if so it pleases you, else they shall not meet, and thus it is.
What is't, Corambis?
Marry, my good lord, this. Soon, when the sports are done, madam, send you in haste to speak with him, and I myself will stand behind the arras, there question you the cause of all his grief, and then, in love and nature unto you, he'll tell you all. My lord, how you think on it?
It likes us well. Gertrude, what say you?
With all my heart. Soon will I send for him.
Myself will be that happy messenger who hopes his grief will be revealed to her.
Pronounce me this speech trippingly of the tongue as I taught thee. Marry and you mouth it, as a many of your players do. I'd rather hear a town bull bellow than such a fellow speak my lines. Nor do not saw the air thus with your hands, but give everything his action with temperance. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig fellow to tear a passion in tatters, and to very rags to split the ears of the ignorant, who for the most part are capable of nothing but dumb shows and noises. I would have such a fellow whipped for o'erdoing termagant it out, Herod's Herod.
My lord, we have indifferently reformed that among us.
The better, the better. Mend it altogether. There be fellows that I have seen play, and heard others commend them, and that highly too, that, having neither the gait of Christian, pagan, nor Turk, have so strutted and bellowed, that you would have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominable. Take heed, avoid it.
I warrant you, my lord.
And do you hear? Let not your clown speak more than is set down. There be of them, I can tell you, that will laugh themselves to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh with them. Albeit there is some necessary point in the play then to be observed. Oh, 'tis vile, and shows a pitiful ambition in the fool that useth it. And then you have some again that keeps one suit of jests, as a man is known by one suit of apparel, and gentlemen quotes his jests down in their tables before they come to the play, as thus: "Cannot you stay till I eat my porridge?" And "You owe me a quarter's wages," and "My coat wants a cullisin," and "Your beer is sour," and blabbering with his lips and thus keeping in his sync pace of jests, when, God knows, the warm clown cannot make a jest unless by chance, as the blind man catches a hare. Masters, tell him of it.
We will, my lord.
Here, my lord.
Players, make you ready. Horatio, thou art even as just a man as e'er my conversation cupped withal.
My lord.
Nay, why should I flatter thee? What gain the poor be flattered? What gain should I receive by flattering thee? That nothing hath but thy good mind? Let flattery sit on those time-pleasing tongues, to gloze with them that loves to hear their praise, and not with such as thou, Horatio. There is a play on tonight, wherein one scene thereof comes very near to the murder of my father. When thou shalt see that act afoot, mark thou the king. Do but observe his looks, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and if he does not bleach and change at that, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. Horatio, have a care, observe him well.
My lord, mine eyes shall still be on his face, and not the smallest alteration that shall appear in him, but I shall note it.
Mark, they come.
How now, son Hamlet, how fare you? Shall we have a play?
The faith, the chameleon's dish, not cape and crammed, feet of the air. Aye, father. My lord, you played in the university?
That I did, my lord, and I was counted a good actor.
And what did you enact there?
My lord, I did act Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf. Come, be these players ready?
Hamlet, come sit down by me.
No, by my faith, mother, here's a metal more attractive. Lady, will you give me leave and so forth to lay my head in your lap?
No, my lord.
Upon your lap. What, do you think I meant contrary matters?
What means this, my lord?
You shall hear anon. This fellow will tell you.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is the prologue, or a posy for a ring?
'Tis short, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 40 years are past. Their date is gone, since happy time joined both our hearts as one. And now the blood that filled my youthful veins runs weakly in their pipes, and all the strains of music, which whilom pleased mine ear, is now a burden that age cannot bear, and therefore sweet nature must pay his due. To heaven must I, and leave the earth with you.
Oh, say not so, lest that you kill my heart. When death takes you, let life from me depart.
Content thyself. When ended is my date, thou mayst perchance have a more noble mate, more wise, more youthful.
Oh, speak no more, for then I am accursed. None weds the second, but she kills the first. A second time I kill my lord that's dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
Oh, Wormwood. Wormwood.
I do believe you, sweet, what now you speak. But what we do determine oft we break. For our demises still are overthrown. Our thought are ours, their ends none of our own. So think you will no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Both here and there pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break now.
'Tis deeply sworn, sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious time with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how do you like this play?
The lady protests too much.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No offense in the world. Poison and jest.
What do you call the name of the play?
Mousetrap. Marry, how trapically. This play is the image of a murder done in Guyana. Albertus was the duke's name, his wife Baptista. Father is his knavish piece of work, but what of that? It toucheth not us. You and I that have free souls, let the gala jade wince. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret the love you bear if I saw the poopies dallying.
You are very pleasant, my lord.
Who I? Your only jig-maker? Why, what should a man do but be merry? For look how cheerfully my mother looks. My father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
2 months? Nay, let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Jesus, 2 months dead and not forgotten yet. Nay then, there's some likelihood a gentleman's death may outlive memory, but by faith he must build churches then, or else he must follow the old epitha. With ho, the hobby horse is forgot.
Your jests are keen, my lord.
It would cost you a groaning to take them off.
Still better and worse.
So, you must take your husband, begin. Murdered, begin. A pox, leave thy damnable faces, and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's bane thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property, one wholesome life usurps immediately.
He poisons him for his estate.
Lights! I will to bed.
The king rises. Lights, ho!
What, frightened with false fires? Then let the stricken deer go weep, the heart ungalled play, for some must laugh while some must weep. Thus runs the world away.
The king is moved, my lord.
Aye, Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for more than all the coin in Denmark.
Now, my lord, how is't with you?
And if the king likes not the tragedy, why then belike he likes it not purdy.
We are very glad to see your grace so pleasant. My good lord, let us again entreat to know of you the ground and cause of your distemperature.
My lord, your mother craves to speak with you.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother.
But, my good lord, shall I entreat thus much?
I pray, will you play upon this pipe?
Alas, my lord, I cannot.
Pray will you?
I have no skill, my lord.
Why, look, it is a thing of nothing. 'Tis but stopping of these holes, and with a little breath from your lips, it will give most delicate music.
But this we cannot do, my lord.
Pray now, play heartily, I beseech you.
My lord, we cannot.
Why, how unworthy a thing would you make of me? You would seem to know my stops, you would play upon me, you would search the very inward part of my heart and dive into the secret of my soul. Zoons, do you not think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Besides, to be demanded by a sponge.
How? A sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, a sponge that soaks up the king's countenance, favors, and rewards, that makes his liberality your storehouse. But such as you do the king, in the end, best service. For he doth keep you as an ape doth nuts in the corner of his jaw. First mouths you, then swallows you, so that when he hath need of you, 'tis but squeezing of you, and sponge, you shall be dry again. You shall.
Well, my lord, we'll take our leave.
Farewell, farewell. God bless you.
My lord, the queen would speak with you.
Do you see yonder cloud in the shape of a camel?
'Tis like a camel indeed.
Now me think it's like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Why then tell my mother I'll come by and by.
Aye, my lord.
Good night, Horatio.
Good night unto your lordship.
My mother she hath sent to speak with me. O God, let ne'er the heart of Nero enter this soft bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers, those sharp words being spent. To do her wrong my soul shall never consent.
Oh, that this wet that falls upon my face would wash the crime clear from my conscience. When I look up to heaven, I see my trespass. The earth does still cry out upon my fact. Pay me the murder of a brother and a king, and the adulterous fault I have committed. Oh, these are sins that are unpardonable. Why say thy sins were blacker than his jet, yet may contrition make them as white as snow? Aye. But still to persevere in a sin, it is an act against the universal power. Most wretched man, stoop. Bend thee to thy prayer. Ask grace of heaven to keep thee from despair.
Aye, so. Come forth and work thy last, and thus he dies, and so am I revenged. No, not so. He took my father sleeping, his sins brim full, and how his soul stood to the state of heaven, who knows, save the immortal powers. And I shall kill him now, when he is purging of his soul, making his way for heaven. This is a benefit and not revenge. No, get thee up again. When he's at game, swearing, taking his carouse, drinking drunk, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, or at some act that hath no relish of salvation in it, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and fall as low as hell. My mother stays, this physic but prolongs thy weary days.
My words fly up, my sins remain below. No king on earth is safe if God's his foe.
Madam, I hear young Hamlet coming. I'll shroud myself behind the arras.
Do so, my lord.
Mother, are you here? How is't with you, mother?
How is't with you?
I'll tell you, but first we'll make all safe.
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
How now, boy?
How now, mother? Come here, sit down, for you shall hear me speak.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me! Help! Ho!
Help for the queen!
Aye, a rat, dead for a ducat. Rash intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better.
Hamlet, what hast thou done?
Not so much harm, good mother, as to kill a king and marry with his brother.
How? Kill a king?
Aye, a king. Nay, sit you down, and ere you part, if you be made of penetrable stuff, I'll make your eyes look down into your heart and see how horrid there and black it shows.
Hamlet, what meanst thou by these killing words?
Why, this I mean. See here, behold this picture. It is the portraiture of your deceased husband. See here a face to outface Mars himself, an eye at which his foes did tremble at, a front wherein all virtues are set down for to adorn a king and gild his crown, whose heart went hand in hand even with that vow he made to you in marriage, and he is dead. Murdered, damnably murdered, this was your husband. Look you now, here is your husband with a face like Vulcan, a look fit for a murder and a rape, a dull, dead hanging look, and a hell-bred eye to affright children and amaze the world. And this same have you left to change with this. What devil thus hath cozened you at Hobman blind? Ah! Have you eyes, and can you look on him that slew my father and your dear husband to live in the incestuous pleasure of his bed?
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more.
To leave him that bears a monarch's mind for a king of clouts, of very shreds?
Sweet Hamlet, cease.
Nay, but still to persist and dwell in sin, to sweat under the yoke of infamy, to make increase of shame, to steal damnation.
Hamlet, no more!
Why, appetite with you is in the wane. Your blood runs backward now from whence it came. Who'll chide hot blood within a virgin's heart when lust shall dwell within a matron's breast?
Hamlet, thou cleaves my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worst part of it and keep the better. Save me, you gracious powers above, and hover over me with your celestial wings. Do you not come your tardy son to chide that I thus long have let revenge slip by? Oh, do not glare with looks so pitiful, lest that my heart of stone yield to compassion, and every part that should assist revenge forego their proper powers and fall to pity.
Hamlet, I once again appear to thee, to put thee in remembrance of my death. Do not neglect, nor long time put it off. But I perceive by thy distracted looks thy mother's fearful, and she stands amazed. Comfort thy mother, Hamlet. Think on me.
How is't with you, lady?
Nay, how is't with you, that thus you bend your eyes on vacancy and hold discourse with nothing but with air?
Why, do you nothing hear?
Not I.
Nor do you nothing see?
No, neither.
No, why see the king my father in the habit as he lived. Look you how pale he looks. See how he steals away out of the portal. Look, there he goes.
Alas, it is the weakness of thy brain, which makes thy tongue to blazon thy heart's grief. But as I have a soul, I swear by heaven, I never knew of this most horrid murder. But Hamlet, this is only fantasy, and for my love forget these idle fits.
Idle? No, mother. My pulse doth beat like yours. It is not madness that possesses Hamlet. Oh, mother, if you ever did my dear father love, forbear the adulterous bed tonight, and win yourself by little as you may. In time, it may be you will loathe him quite. And mother, but assist me in revenge, and in his death your infamy shall die.
Hamlet, I vow, by that majesty that knows our thoughts and looks into our hearts, I will conceal, consent, and do my best, what stratagem soe'er thou shalt devise.
It is enough, mother. Good night. Come, sir, I'll provide you for a grave who was in life a foolish, prating knave.
Now, Gertred, what says our son? How do you find him?
Alas, my lord, as raging as the sea. When as he came I first bespake him fair, but then he throws and tosses me about as one forgetting that I was his mother. At last I called for help, and as I cried, Corambis called, which Hamlet no sooner heard, but whips out his rapier and cries, a rat, and in his rage the good old man he kills.
Why, this his madness will undo our state. Lords, go to him, inquire the body out.
We will, my lord.
Gertred, your son shall presently to England. His shipping is already furnished, and we have sent by Rossencraft and Gilderstone our letters to our dear brother of England for Hamlet's welfare and his happiness. Haply the air and climate of the country may please him better than his native home.
My lord, we can by no means know of him where the body is.
Now, son Hamlet, where is this dead body?
At supper, not where he is eating, but where he is eaten. A certain company of politic worms are even now at him. Father, your fat king and your lean beggar are but variable services, 2 dishes to 1 mess. Look you, a man may fish with that worm that hath eaten a king, and a beggar eat that fish which that worm hath caught.
What of this?
Nothing, father, but to tell you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
But son Hamlet, where is this body?
In heaven. If you chance to miss him there, father, you had better look in the other parts below for him. And if you cannot find him there, you may chance to nose him as you go up the lobby.
Make haste and find him out.
Nay, do you not hear? Do not make too much haste. I'll warrant you he'll stay till you come.
Well, son Hamlet, we in care for you, but specially in tender preservation of your health, which we prize even as our proper self. It is our mind you forthwith go to England. The wind sits fair. You shall aboard tonight. Lord Rossencraft and Gilderstone shall go along with you.
Oh, with my heart. Farewell, mother.
Your loving father, Hamlet.
My mother, I say. You married my mother. My mother is your wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother, farewell. For England, ho.
Gertred, leave me, and take your leave of Hamlet.
Aye, my lord.
To England he is gone, ne'er to return. Our letters are unto the King of England, that on sight of them, on his allegiance he presently, without demanding why, that Hamlet lose his head, for he must die. There's more in him than shallow eyes can see. Once being dead, why then our state is free.
Captain, from us go greet the King of Denmark. Tell him that Fortinbras, nephew to old Norway, craves a free pass and conduct over his land, according to the articles agreed on. You know our rendezvous. Go march away.
Aye, sir.
Hamlet is shipped for England, fare him well. I hope to hear good news from thence ere long, if everything fall out to our content, as I do make no doubt but so it shall.
God grant it may. Heavens keep my Hamlet safe. But this mischance of old Corambis' death hath pierced so the young Ophelia's heart, that she, poor maid, is quite bereft her wits.
Alas, dear heart, and on the other side we understand her brothers come from France, and he hath half the heart of all our land, and hardly he'll forget his father's death, unless by some means he be pacified.
Oh, see where the young Ophelia comes.
How should I your true love know from another man? By his cockle hat, and his staff, and his sandal shoon. White his shroud as mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers, that bewept the grave did not go with true lovers' showers. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone.
How is't with you, sweet Ophelia?
Well, God yield you. It grieves me to see how they laid him in the cold ground. I could not choose but weep. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he's gone, and we cast away moan. And he never will come again, his beard as white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is dead, he is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God. God be with you, ladies. God be with you.
A pretty wretch. This is a change indeed. Oh, time, how swiftly runs our joys away. Content on earth was never certain bread. Today we laugh and live tomorrow dead.
Unhand me, you coxcomb.
How now? What noise is that?
Stay there until I come. Oh, thou vile king. Give me my father. Speak, say, where is my father?
Dead.
Who hath murdered him? Speak, I'll not be juggled with, for he is murdered.
True, but not by him.
By whom? By heaven, I'll be resolved.
Let him go, Gertred. Away. I fear him not. There's such divinity doth wall a king that treason dares not look on. Let him go, Gertred. That your father is murdered, 'tis true, and we most sorry for it, being the chiefest pillar of our state. Therefore will you, like a most desperate gamester, swoop-stake-like, draw at friend and foe and all?
To his good friends thus wide I'll ope mine arms, and lock them in my heart, but to his foes I will no reconcilement but by blood.
Why now, you speak like a most loving son. And that in soul we sorrow for his death yourself ere long shall be a witness. Meanwhile, be patient, and content yourself.
Well, God a mercy, I have been gathering of flowers.
Who's this? Ophelia. Oh, my dear sister. Is possible a young maid's life should be as mortal as an old man's saw? Oh, heavens themselves, how now, Ophelia?
Here is a rue for you. You may call it a herb a grace of Sundays. Here's some for me, too. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. Here, love, there's rosemary for you, for remembrance. I pray, love, remember. And there's a pansy for thoughts.
Document in madness. Thoughts? Remembrance. Oh, God. Oh, God.
There's fennel for you. I would have given you some violets, but they all withered when my father died. Alas, they say the owl was a baker's daughter. We see what we are, but cannot tell what we shall be. For bonny sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thoughts and afflictions. Torments worse than hell.
Nay, love, I pray you make no words of this now. I pray now, you shall sing a down, and you a down. 'Tis the king's a daughter, and the full steward, and if anybody ask you of anything, say you this: tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morning betime, and a maid at your window to be your Valentine. The young man rose and donned his clothes, and up the chamber door let in the maid that out a maid never departed more. Nay, I pray, mark now, by Gis and by Saint Charity, away, and fie for shame. Young men will do it when they come to it, by cock, they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I had done, my yonder son, if thou hadst not come to my bed. So God be with you all, God be with you, ladies. God be with you, love.
Grief upon grief. My father murdered, my sister thus distracted. Cursed be his soul that wrought this wicked act.
Content you, good Laertes, for a time, although I know your grief is as a flood brimful of sorrow, but forbear a while, and think already the revenge is done on him that makes you such a hapless son.
You have prevailed, my lord. A while I'll strive to bury grief within a tomb of wrath, which once unhearsed, then the world shall hear Laertes had a father he held dear.
No more of that. Ere many days be done, you shall hear that you do not dream upon.
Madam, your son is safe arrived in Denmark. This letter I even now received of him, whereas he writes how he escaped the danger and subtle treason that the king had plotted. Being crossed by the contention of the winds, he found the packet sent to the King of England, wherein he saw himself betrayed to death. And at his next conversion with your grace, he will relate the circumstance at full.
Then I perceive there's treason in the king's looks that seem to sugar o'er his villainy. But I will soothe and please him for a time, for murderous minds are always jealous. But know not you, Horatio, where Hamlet is?
Yes, madam, and he hath appointed me to meet him on the east side of the city tomorrow morning.
Oh, fail not, good Horatio, and withal commend me a mother's care to him. Bid him a while be wary of his presence, lest that he fail in that he goes about.
Madam, never make doubt of that. I think by this the news be come to court. He is arrived. Observe the king, and you shall quickly find, Hamlet being here, things fell not to his mind.
But what become of Gilderstone and Rossencraft?
He being set ashore, they went for England, and in the packet there writ down that doom to be performed on them, pointed for him. And by great chance, he had his father's seal, so all was done without discovery.
Thanks be to heaven for blessing of the prince. Horatio, once again I take my leave with 1,000 mothers' blessings to my son.
Madam, adieu.
Hamlet from England, is it possible? What chance is this? They are gone, and he come home.
Oh, he is welcome. By my soul he is. At it my chosen heart doth leap for joy that I shall live to tell him thus he dies.
Laertes, content yourself. Be ruled by me, and you shall have no let for your revenge.
My will, not all the world.
Nay, but Laertes, mark the plot I have laid. I have heard him often with a greedy wish upon some praise that he hath heard of you, touching your weapon, with which all his heart he might be once tasked for to try your cunning.
And how for this?
Marry, Laertes, thus. I'll lay a wager shall be on Hamlet's side, and you shall give the odds, the which will draw him with a more desire to try the mastery, that in 12 vinnies you gain not 3 of him. Now this being granted, when you are hot in midst of all your play, among the foils shall a keen rapier lie, steeped in a mixture of deadly poison, that if it draws but the least dram of blood in any part of him, he cannot live. This being done will free you from suspicion, and not the dearest friend that Hamlet loved will ever have Laertes in suspect.
I like it well. But say Lord Hamlet should refuse this match.
I'll warrant you will put on you such a report of singularity will bring him on, although against his will. And lest that all should miss, I'll have a potion that shall ready stand in all his heat, when that he calls for drink shall be his period and our happiness.
'Tis excellent. Oh, would the time were come. Here comes the queen.
How now, Gertred? Why look you heavily?
Oh, my lord, the young Ofelia, having made a garland of sundry sorts of flowers, sitting upon a willow by a brook, the envious sprig broke, into the brook she fell, and for a while her clothes spread wide abroad, bore the young lady up, and there she sat smiling, even mermaid-like, twixt heaven and earth, chanting old sundry tunes, uncapable as it were of her distress, but long it could not be, till that her clothes, being heavy with their drink, dragged the sweet wretch to death.
She is drowned. Too much of water hast thou, Ofelia. Therefore I will not drown thee in my tears. Revenge it is must yield this heart relief. For woe begets woe, and grief hangs on grief.
I say no. She ought not be buried in Christian burial.
Why, sir?
Mary, because she's drowned.
But she did not drown herself.
No, that's certain. The water drowned her.
Yea, but it was against her will.
No, I deny that. For look you, sir, I stand here. If the water come to me, I drown not myself. But if I go to the water, I am there drowned. Ergo, I am guilty of my own death. Go, you're gone, sir.
Aye, but see, she hath Christian burial, because she is a great woman.
Mary, More's the pity that great folk should have more authority to hang or drown themselves, more than other people. Go, fetch me a stoup of drink. But before thou goest, tell me one thing. Who builds the strongest, of a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Why, a mason, for he builds all of stone, and will endure long.
That's pretty. To it again, to it again.
Why, then a carpenter, for he builds the gallows, and that brings many a one to his long home.
Pretty again. The gallows doth well, marry. How does it well? The gallows does well to them that do ill. Go, get thee gone, and if anyone ask hereafter, say, a grave maker. For the houses he builds last till doomsday. Fetch me a stoup of beer, go. A pickaxe and a spade for and a winding sheet. Most fit it is, for 'twill be made for such a guest most meet.
Hath this fellow any feeling of himself that is thus merry in making of a grave? See how the slave jowls their heads against the earth.
My lord, custom hath made it in him seem nothing.
A pickaxe and a spade for and a winding sheet. Most fit it is, for 'twill be made for such a guest most meet.
Look you, there's another Horatio. Why, may it not be the skull of some lawyer? Methinks he should indict that fellow of an action of battery for knocking about the pate with shovel. Now where's your quirks and gullets now, your vouchers and double vouchers, your leases, your freehold and tenements? Why, that same box there will scarce hold the conveyance of his land, and must the honor lie there? Oh, pitiful transformance. I prithee, tell me, Horatio, is parchment made of sheepskin?
Aye, my lord, and of calves' skins, too.
Faith, they prove themselves sheeps and calves that deal with them, or put their trust in them. There's another. Why may not that be such a one's skull that praised my lord such a one's horse, when he meant to beg him? Horatio, I prithee, let's question yonder fellow. Now, my friend, whose grave is this?
Mine, sir.
But who must lie in it?
If I should say I should lie in my throat, sir.
What man must be buried here?
No man, sir.
What woman?
No woman neither, sir, but indeed one that was a woman.
An excellent fellow, by the Lord, Horatio. This 7 years I have noted it. The toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier that he galls his kibe. I prithee, tell me one thing. How long will a man lie in the ground before he rots?
I' faith, sir, if he be not rotten before he be laid in, as we have many pocky corpses, he will last you 8 years. A tanner will last you 8 years full out, or 9.
And why a tanner?
Why, his hide is so tanned with his trade that it will hold out water. That's a parlous devourer of your dead body, a great soaker. Look you, here's a skull hath been here this dozen year, let me see, aye, ever since our last King Hamlet slew Fortinbras in combat. Young Hamlet's father, he that's mad.
Aye, Mary, how came he mad?
In faith, very strangely, by losing of his wits.
Upon what ground?
This ground, in Denmark.
Where is he now?
Why, now they sent him to England.
To England? Wherefore?
Why, they say he shall have his wits there. Or, if he have not, 'tis no great matter there, and it will not be seen here.
Why no great matter?
Why, There they say the men are as mad as he.
Whose skull was this?
This, a plague on him, a mad rogue it was. He poured once a whole flagon of Rhenish on my head. Why do you not know him? This was one Yorick's skull.
Was this? I prithee, let me see it. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite mirth. He hath carried me 20 times upon his back. Here hung those lips that I have kissed 100 times in the sea. Now they abhor me. Where's your jests now, Yorick? Your flashes of merriment? Now go to my lady's chamber and bid her paint herself an inch thick. To this she must come, Yorick. Horatio, I prithee tell me one thing. Does thou think that Alexander looked thus?
Even so, my lord.
And smelt thus?
Aye, my lord. No otherwise.
No, why might not imagination work, as thus of Alexander? Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander became earth, of earth we make clay, and Alexander being but clay, why might not time bring to pass that he might stop the bonghole of a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar dead and turned to clay might stop a hole to keep the wind away. What funeral's this that all the court laments? It shows to be some noble parentage. Stand by a while.
What ceremony else? Say, what ceremony else?
My lord, we have done all that lies in us, and more than well the church can tolerate. She hath a dirge sung for her maiden soul, and, but for favor of the king and you, she had been buried in the open fields, where now she is allowed Christian burial.
So I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
The fair Ofelia dead?
Sweets to the sweet farewell. I had thought to adorn thy bridal bed, fair maid, and not to follow thee unto thy grave.
Forbear the earth awhile, sister. Farewell. Now pour your earth on, Olympus high, and make a hill to o'ertop old Pelin. What's he that conjures so?
Behold, 'tis I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Oh, thou prayest not well. I prithee, take thy hand off my throat. For there is something in me dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off thy hand. I loved Ofelia as dear as 20 brothers could. Show me what thou wilt do for her. Wilt fight, wilt fast, wilt pray, wilt drink up vessels, eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Comest thou here to wine, and where thou talkst of burying thee alive, here let us stand, and them throw on us whole hills of earth, till with the height thereof make Ussel as a wart.
Forbear, Laertes, now he is mad as is the sea. Anon is mild and gentle as a dove. Therefore a while give his wild humor scope.
What is the reason, sir, that you wrong me thus? I never gave you cause, but stand away. A cat will mew, a dog will have his day.
Alas, it is his madness makes him thus, and not his heart, Laertes.
My lord, 'tis so, but we'll no longer trifle. This very day shall Hamlet drink his last, for presently we mean to send him. Therefore, Laertes, be in readiness.
My lord, till then my soul will not be quiet.
Come, Gertred, we'll have Laertes and our son make friends and lovers as befits them both, even as they tender us and love their country.
God grant they may.
Believe me, it grieves me much, Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For by myself methinks I feel his grief, though there's a difference in each other's wrongs. Horatio, but mark yon waterfly. The court knows him, but he knows not the court.
Now God save thee, sweet Prince Hamlet.
And you, sir? Oh, how the muscot smells.
I come with an embassage from His Majesty to you.
I shall, sir, give you attention. By my troth, methinks 'tis very cold.
It is indeed very rawish cold.
'Tis hot, methinks.
Very sweltery hot. The king's sweet prince had laid a wager on your side, 6 Barbary horse against 6 French rapiers, with all their accoutrements to the carriages. In good faith, they are very curiously wrought.
The carriages, sir. I do not know what you mean.
The girdles and the hangers, sir, and such like.
The word had been more cousin German to the phrase if he could have carried the cannon by his side. And how's the wager? I understand you now.
Marry, sir, that young Laertes in 12 innies, at rapier and dagger do not get 3 odds of you, and on your side the king hath laid, and desires you to be in readiness.
Very well. If the king dare venture his wager, I dare venture my skull. When must this be?
My lord, presently, the king and her majesty, with the rest of the best judgment in the court, are coming down into the outward palace.
Go tell his majesty I will attend him.
I shall deliver your most sweet answer.
You may, sir, none better, if you're spiced. Else he had a bad nose could not smell a fool.
He will disclose himself without inquiry.
Believe me, Horatio, my heart is on the sudden very sore, all hereabout.
My lord, forbear the challenge then.
No, Horatio, not I. If danger be now, why then it is not to come. There's a predestinate providence in the fall of a sparrow. Here comes the king.
Now, son Hamlet, we have laid upon your head, and make no question but to have the best.
Your majesty had laid on the weaker side.
We doubt it not. Deliver them the foils.
First, Laertes, here's my hand in love, protesting that I never wronged Laertes. If Hamlet in his madness did amiss, that was not Hamlet, but his madness did it. And all the wrong I e'er did to Laertes, I here proclaim, was madness. Therefore, let's be at peace, and think I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
Sir, I am satisfied in nature, but in terms of honor I'll stand aloof, and will know reconcilement till by some elder masters of our time I may be satisfied.
Give them the foils.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. These foils have all a length. Come on, sir. A hit.
No, none!
Judgment?
A hit. A most palpable hit.
Well, come again.
Another judgment.
I grant a touch, a touch!
Here, Hamlet, the king doth drink a health to thee.
Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, wipe thy face.
Give him the wine.
Set it by, I'll have another bout first. I'll drink anon.
Here, Hamlet, thy mother drinks to thee.
Do not drink, Gertred! Oh, 'tis the poisoned cup.
Laertes, come, you dally with me. I pray you pass with your most cunningest play.
Aye, say you so? Have at you, I'll hit you now, my lord. And yet it goes almost against my conscience.
Come on, sir.
Look to the queen!
Oh, the drink, Hamlet, the drink.
Treason, ho, keep the gates!
How is my lord Laertes?
Even as a coxcomb should, foolishly slain with my own weapon. Hamlet, thou hast not in thee half an hour of life. The fatal instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. Thy mother's poisoned, that drink was made for thee.
The poisoned instrument within my hand? Then venom to thy venom. Die, damned villain. Come, drink. Here lies thy union, here.
He is justly served. Hamlet, before I die, here take my hand, and with all my love, I do forgive thee.
And I thee. Oh, I am dead, Horatio. Fare thee well.
No. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here is some poison left.
Upon my love, I charge thee, let it go. O fie, Horatio, and if thou shouldst die, what a scandal wouldst thou leave behind? What tongue should tell the story of our deaths, if not from thee? Oh, my heart sinks, Horatio. My eyes have lost their sight, my tongue is use. Farewell, Horatio. Heaven receive my soul.
Where is this bloody sight?
If aught of woe or wonder you'll behold, then look upon this tragic spectacle.
O imperious death! How many princes hast thou at one draught bloodily shot to death?
our embassy that we have brought from England. Where be these princes that should hear us speak? Oh, most unlooked for time. Unhappy country.
Content yourselves. I'll show to all the ground, the first beginning of this tragedy. Let there a scaffold be reared up in the marketplace, and let the state of the world be there, where you shall hear such a sad story told that never mortal man could more unfold.
I have some rights of memory to this kingdom, which now to claim my leisure doth invite me. Let 4 of our chiefest captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to his grave, for he was likely, had he lived, to have proved most royal. Take up the body, such a sight as this becomes the fields, but here doth much amiss.